qualifying session. So no Q1, no Q2, blah, 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 just 15 minutes, and that's it. And that sets the grid for the race, which is determined by 45 minutes divided by the pole position time. So if we have a pole time of 90 seconds, we're going to have a 45 lap race. So this is the Ventosa circuit, a 3-kilometer circuit with many, many turns. You've got to get right to have the best lap possible. And I've received a message from Race Control telling me to have the chat open, which it already is. Thank you, Caster. And so, yeah, this is qualifying. Currently on... Oh, geez. I'm still having little bluffs here and there. We've currently looking on board one of the... I believe that might be... see if I can figure out who that is. That's not Fernand, because... Or is it Fernand? Fernand about to cross the line. Let's see what time he's going to put in. He puts in a 1 minute 27.816 to go fastest of all. Just by almost half a second. Chris Boy in second, and then it's Wolf Landry in third. 2-3 for that outfit. Still trying to learn the names of the teams because it's completely we've got completely new teams for this season. Last season we had the usual usual 10 suspects. My apologies. McLaren, Ferrari, Mercedes, Red Bull, all that lot. Now we've got brand new teams, which I'm still trying to learn the names of. This is the second race. I mean, I should know these by now. Come on, me. Ugh, never mind. So this is your first time joining. Let's have a little recap about what happened last round. Last round, Craig started the season. Last round. Sorry. Oh yes, that's right. Constantly going down, but there we go. Okay, so I was just saying that Fernand was the winner from last round for Craig Motorsports.
Yeah, to be honest, I think that Craig Motorsports is the Red Bull.
Fortunately, things went the other way for Sparks Racing. I was just talking about Sparks Racing, who did not have the best weekend. Dog! Give me 2 seconds.
Alright.
I have the clingiest dog in the world. She cannot decide where she wants to be. Like, literally 1 minute in my room, the next out. In, out, in, out. It happens all day, every day, and it really frustrates me. Anyways. You were saying?
Alright. So, what were you trying to say?
I was talking about winners and losers from last week. We're currently on the losers from last week, which were Sparks Racing. After having an extremely promising practice session, Sparks had a pretty awful showing at round number 1. One of their drivers did not start the race, and the other driver was their first DNF of the season. The winning driver from our fan vote is Wolf Landry, scoring a podium in the first race. And a lot of people were going to say that Wolf was going to win the race. He was in the lead until the last few laps, where Fernand took the race lead from him. I think it was on the penultimate lap. I'm not sure. He was in the, and what really surprised me is that during the wet weather, he was running on slicks. And that made me think, is he going to stay up there? That's what I was saying to myself. But he did at the end and managed to stay in third. And another loser from last week is KR Racing, collecting a DNF, no points, even with a promising start. But with new recruitment for this round, we could be seeing them having a little turnaround. We can
Yeah.
see one of
Oh.
their cars currently in the top three, and what's this happening over here? We've got Domji over here in one of the KRs, I would believe. Yeah, that is one of the KRs. That's Domji. He is currently sitting down in 16th position, with his teammate up in 3rd. We're going to need to wait and see what he can do. He has not yet set a competitive lap time, only being a 1 minute 48.545. His teammates set a 1:27.987. So we're going to need to wait and see what Domji can do as we come into the final stages of this qualifying session. We've got Acer here, who's pulling off to the side of the road, trying to recharge that battery as much as he can. He's got to get out of the way for the car behind. Otherwise, he'll run straight into the back of him. And I think I can see where everybody is at the moment. I can see on my screen that there's only one car on the circuit. That's Alfaxio. I could be wrong, though. If I can turn up my graphics, see if that does anything different. Unfortunately, that does not do anything different.
Yeah. At the moment, that is second place. But he was on pole position, but Fernand quickly took that away from him. Also, should we talk about the lineup that Craig Motorsports have? You see, last season we've seen that Fernand and Outgard were rivals and were championship contenders, but then sorry, it wasn't Outgard, it was Critical Noob. Sorry.
No, you're right. They were rivals last season because
they were
Outgard wasn't
rivals.
with Fernand at Ferrari, and now they're teammates for this season.
Yeah, what a lineup that Craig Motorsports have. We can see that Fernand is on provisional pole, while Outgard, his teammate, lies down in 4th, as he is under pressure by ASM, the Golf Racing driver, just separated by 10th.
You say that's a Golf. That looks more like one of the McLarens from Monaco 2021. That livery is already. I think that livery is going to be my favorite for this season. I might as well just start calling these guys McLaren. But never mind. That's ASM. He's currently in 6th. His teammate is up into 7th, and that's the train dude. These two these two are showing quite a lot of these two are showing quite a lot for this weekend so far, as we've got 4 minutes and 20 seconds left to qualify. They're currently sitting 2nd and 5th. Craig's sitting 1st and 4th. I think they're going to be the ones to challenge Craig this weekend. What do you think?
Yeah, I have I'm sorry, what did you say again? Because due to poor connection.
I was saying that the Golf guys are going to be the ones to challenge Craig this weekend, but I don't know what you think about it though.
Yeah, I don't think they will challenge Craig, to be honest. As I said, I don't have any words about it, really.
Well, they're currently sitting 2nd and 5th. They're the second best team in qualifying. Craig sitting 1st and 4th, both 2nd and 5th. And then we've got the KRs, who are currently sitting 3rd and 6th, with Domji set a 1:28.137 time, himself up into 6th. So we've got our top 3 teams sorted out for this weekend, I would say.
Yeah. Should we talk about qualifying as there's not anything changing, but let's talk about the lower mid-team drivers.
Right. Oh, and also, I don't want to interrupt you, but Outgars just set a purple Sector 1, 32.204. That's the fastest of everyone. Let's see what he can do as he picks off the corners one by one and the sectors to see if he can slap a lap time good enough for pole position. We'll just need to see what he can do in the second sector. Second sector has not come up just yet. We don't have microsectors either, so I can't tell you how fast he's going. Separate parts of the circuit. 33.204. That's not a personal best. It's still pretty good for Outguard. We just need to wait and see what he can do coming through the final sector now. I think that's him coming around. Yeah, that's him coming around the final corner now. Yep, that's him coming around the final corner. Let's see what he can do as he comes across the line. What's it going to be? As Outguard crosses the line, it's going to be a 1 minute 27.566. That puts him second fastest behind his teammate. Making it a Craig 1-2 provisionally.
Yeah.
Let's see if anyone else can challenge that time. We've got Super Jump setting. Oh, go ahead.
No. Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's good. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No. So we have the top 4 are the only drivers that have a sub 1:28. So that means that is really much, the only top 4 drivers are, how do I say it now? It's really tricky, but they are I don't know how to say it. It's a word that doesn't come out for me.
Oh yeah, I'm afraid. You can see quite a big gaggle of cars coming across the line. Start their last qualifying laps, as we've only got 45 seconds left on the clock. This is their last attempt. There will be no more qualifying laps after this, so it's all or nothing for these drivers. They've got to put the lap in now, get to the top, to get to or near the front of the grid, or just to the best place that they can. We can see Zedneo going up to 7th, pushing the 2 G-Forces down by 1 spot each. His teammates sitting down in 10th. Let's see, we've got W Soup improving in Sector 1, 32.616. What about Sector 2? He's currently the only one that is improving on a lap time for what I can see. At least that's for the top 17. Let's see. Oh, never mind. We got Domji setting a purple Sector 1, 132.187. Let's see if we can get cameras on him. There he is. He's currently on a flyer. An absolute flyer. Let's see what he can do as he picks off these corners. And it just makes me wonder, can Domji snatch the pole position away from the 2 Crakes? Can he split them, in fact? And he's driving with KRR, who did not have the best debut this season. So this could be a big turnaround for these guys if they can get the lap right. 33.754. Oh, he went a little bit wide. I don't know if that's a lap invalidated. Yep, that's his lap invalidated. He's not going to be going any further. We've got W Soup going up to 9th position in the Sparks. That's a good lap.
Also, the Train Pig is improving.
Yeah, Train Pig is improving. Two green sectors. That's personal best. Let's see what he can do as he comes across the line. Is his lap time going to be enough for a front row start? We'll find out in just a few seconds' time. Where is he? Where's Train Pig?
Let's find Train Pig. Let me find him in the cameras.
Oh, never mind. There's Train Pig. He's in the pits. He's bailed out of his lap time. I don't know why
he invalidated it.
That's probably the case, but from what I can see, that is your grid set up. Fernand will start the race from pole position from his teammate Outguard in 2nd position. It's going to be a 1-2. 1-2. It's going to be a 1-2 for Crake. And then it's Train Pig in 3rd, Acer 4th, ASM 5th, Domji 6th, Zed near 7th, Chris Boy 8th, W Soup 9th, and Mr. Macho Globe completing the top 10. Never mind. Wolf makes it into the top 10.
Oh, Wolf.
At the last second. Wolf makes it at the last second. I did not see that lap time coming. Nice job from Wolf Laundry.
Yeah, and also G-Force, the G-Force team have a pretty alright weekend so far. As we can see, their drivers finished into the top 10. a pretty good result for the team, I might say.
It is a very good result for the team. 8th and 10th. That puts them in the points, but that puts them in the points positions for the race. And if they can get the strategy right, we could see them scoring some good points today. What do you think?
Yeah, as I said, if they keep their strategies tight, clean, and overall good, I'm pretty sure that they could finish it to the finishing points.
Last round, still speaking of the G-Force Racing, last round they finished fourth and 10th, so only scoring 13 points. Yeah, that's right, 13 points. So with them starting 8th and 10th, it's not going to be quite the same as last round, but if they can get strategy right, we could see them matching their score or maybe bettering it. I don't know.
And can I just ask a question? What position would GeForce put them into the constructor standings?
Talking about the G-Force, yes?
Yeah, I'm talking about GeForce.
Yeah, they are currently sitting 4th in the constructor standings, ahead of PMP Racing by just 1 point. Hyundai is just behind as well in 6th position, 6 points behind. Ahead of them is Artemis, 2 points ahead, and Sunset GP, who are 5 points ahead of them.
Yeah, and a bit off topic, but our pit lane starters for today is going to be Ducker, and I think it was Darius, but I didn't quite catch on with his name, or I might just butcher the name.
It's gonna be an interesting one. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, Ducker starting into the pits, the Iron Racing Go. Starting into the pits basically. So let's see what this race puts us on.
Have you heard that over the stream?
Yeah. And I think it's time for the race. Or maybe not. Hold on. Because I see some cars outside.
We've also got something new for this round as well. In the chat, we've got something from the pit lane, the system in the pit lane that tells us when someone's coming into the pit lane and what tires they're changing to. So Mr. Macho Globe's going onto the hard tires. Chris Boy is going onto the wet tires. Just a little test to make sure it works. Now he's gone back onto the hard tires. So we're going to be seeing some interesting. I feel like we're going to be seeing some interesting strategies. And with the new with the new pit stop information thingamajigger, it'll really help us in finding out who's on what tire and when. Because we don't have it on the little timing sheet. I think we used to have it last season. But we don't have it for this year for some.
And also, can I ask something? Didn't we have like a stopwatch for when someone's pitting, how fast they pitted? Like I remember that in Piraeus.
Yeah, we did have that. I don't know if we still have it this season, but yeah, we definitely did have that, and it was pretty interesting to know how fast these guys were pitting. I think one of them broke the real life world record. I don't know though. Anyways,
yeah.
I was just gonna say the cars are getting ready to head to the grid. We will be starting the race. Well, not starting the race, but we will be heading to the grid at 35 minutes past the hour. So you see all the guys on the pit wall, and there's my good friend Garrier there. Hello, Garrier. Nice to see you. Garrier was my teammate in another league.
Yeah. And also, since the race is starting soon, let's put our race predictions, shall we?
Oh yes, we need to get the race predictions done and dusted. We've got a bet riding on this one. 50 Robux to the winner. Whoever guesses correctly wins 50 Robux.
Oh,
I'm only I'm only
That
joking. It's not that.
uh,
I only said that just so I can get some excitement in the chat, even though I'm
yeah,
not watching the stream myself.
imagine though. We had a we had a betting system. Anyways, can hold on. All right. So, Spigen, can you read
2
us
minutes till
our
the pit.
grid,
Oh,
our
no, the
starting
pit lane's
grid
already
for the
open.
race?
Oh yes, we need to do the starting grid. I can
Yeah.
get that in, and I've just received word that we've got a new
Yeah.
commentator going to be joining in. He's going to be joining us.
I'm right here.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello. I
What's up,
didn't hear you coming.
everybody? It's
Didn't hear
fine.
you
I
coming.
just,
Oh, welcome.
yeah, I had a little bit of issues today, but luckily we're here. That's all that matters. And I'm very ready to watch this race. As you see here, we are lined up on the grid. Fun and Outgod are on our front row, only being separated by a tenth. And, that's a pretty good amount. And it's really close for both of these teammates. Now over at Craig, I would say I have Outguard winning this race. I think that he has the speed and he can keep up a good fight with his teammate possibly for the win here, but I would not count out anybody else.
If you
Yeah.
ask me, I think we're going to see a surprise from a little bit further down the grid. I think someone in the top 6 is going to get the win. I feel like it's going to be Acer or ASM. I don't know why, but I just have a gut feeling it's going to be one of those guys today.
I agree. I think, Acer and ASM have great chances, or it could be any of their teammates as well, And, anybody can win, really. Something can happen and cause a big upset.
Who knows? That's all I can
Yeah.
say.
And also, we have. I'm gonna say this again. If anybody hasn't heard me, we're gonna have. There is. That's a username, I think, and also Dakar starting from the pits. So imagine those two guys out on track, and I think those are my top contenders to be onto the top 10 or even the top 5.
If you remember from preseason testing, Nakara was really fast. In an interview we have him, as in his words stated, he just used his mouse and keyboard. It's just pure skill for him. So I agree, he could make a good run here.
I think one of Dakar's most underrated and yet most valuable characteristics is his height and weight. If you're not familiar, Dakar is from the south of France, but he's also very on the south side of height. I think he measures in at about approximately 5'3" or 5'4", and I'm not even joking. I think that genuinely helps him. He's very in tune with his little fingers, which really allows him to manipulate the car in and out of the corners, which really can prove to be a benefit compared to a lot of other drivers. I think that can potentially help him get the win today.
Well, we see with all the success he's had in other leagues, if he can have that success there, then that can show he'll have a lot more success here as well.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Martin. For the
Martin
preview
Linear.
of Dakar. And also, your CC limit for this race is going to be 25 CCs. Pretty tight since it's pretty tight since nobody has ever gotten really any corner cuts. And now we're gonna start up with the race, as it is 31 laps.
Yes, we are.
And also, there's a person at the final turn, at the start-finish straight R factor. If anybody can tell him to move out the way, that'll be lovely. Everybody's on a very big debate on the laps. It's yeah, all right. So let's get this race going, shall we?
Yeah.
So we haven't said our race prediction, but now the race is starting. Spigen, I'm gonna let you with the commentating.
Here comes the lights. And it's lights out and away we go.
I'm pretty
mean-
sure Outguard had a little bit of a jump start there. I'm not gonna lie, that might need to be
He
reviewed.
did. He almost jumped into turn 1. It is a swarm of cars. And we're going to see who's going to come out in front.
It looks
What?
like the Train Pig's taking the lead as they head into, I think that's turn 5.
Yeah, I
Around
mean, yeah.
the sharp right-hander. As you now
And
hear, DRS
also-
will be on lap 3.
Aaron Yeager, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but the race control just announced that DRS will open at lap 3, so it's always the bet is going to be on with the ERS and their management until lap 3. Also, I can see to find Outguard. He is in 4th place, but with the swarm of cars, basically, I can't find anybody apart from the person that I'm viewing right now, which is Fernan. Back to you, Aaron Yeager.
Yeah, I'm by the way, cover T-Box, by the way. That's funny. Yeah, Train Pig out here in front with his teammate ASM coming nearby. Ferdinand and Vasupe is going to come in the fight here and see if they can close it. Back into another right-hander and another one to follow. Train Pig keeps the lead ahead of his teammate, and down the straight we come. And
Yeah,
by the line, starting lap 2.
Yeah, I want to say something. What's up? Hold on, I also don't know the names. Sparks Racing, what's up? Has pulled out a very good start. Sorry. I don't know where he qualified, but I'm pretty sure it was somewhere between at the P15 or P10. I'm not pretty sure, but from his starting position, he has moved up all the way to P4. And also clogs. I don't know what's happening with the leaderboard, but it's always changing. So let's wait until the coming laps.
I think it's
Also,
very
that's-
interesting as we look at the grid here. We have the two leaders, the golf team. They're both running medium tires. Fernand, however, is behind them 7/10ths back. He's on the hard compound tires. Is this playing exactly into his hands? We look at the top 5. He's the only hard runner there. The hard runner is behind him, 1 second back off the lead. Of course, the group is still very close together, but it'll be interesting to see how the strategy turns out, as Fernand is showing some really good pace despite his tire compound.
And
Yeah,
look at Outguard.
sorry.
And look at Outguard. He is hanging in 10th place after starting on the front row. 2 laps in, he's already fallen almost out of the top 10. This could be a very concerning start for him. Lost about 8 spots.
Yeah, as we can see, Outguard with a very bad start. He started from 2nd place, he has run all the way down to P10. So that's 8 places lost in just a few laps. And I think DRS is open in this lap, if I'm pretty sure. Or it opens
it
at the
is.
end of this lap. And back to you, Aaron Yeager. Sorry for interrupting you.
Also, look at Clocks. He has come all the way up into P5, having a lot of people working their way up this field really fast on those medium compound tires. That could be a sign for something.
Yeah, as we can see, the Train Peg and his teammate ASM are on the same compound. They also have the grip advantage as Fernan loses a few hundreds or a few tens potentially. And also let's look at the corner cuts. Nobody see. Oh, let's not look at the corner cuts as of now, as ASM is catching up a bit ground. No, sorry, now it has dropped by a few tens. Pretty sure that it was 4 tens. Yeah, and also Fernan also dropped a few tens. And back to you, Aaron Yeager.
I'm
Aaron
really
Yeager.
wondering now how this strategy is going to play out for these two leading golf cars. I'm not sure if it's Gulf McLaren or Gulf whatever, but of course they're leading 1 and 2, or are they now actually? Yeah, they're leading 1 and 2. But who will get the priority of pitting? I know the train pig, he's very good, but I don't remember him from the previous season. I'm not sure if this is his debut or whatever the case may be, but I am very familiar with ASM. Of course, he had that very iconic race last season with Haas, I believe it was, where he got, I think it was a P3, or if not, he just narrowly missed out on P3. So debatably, it could be said that he's the more experienced of the two drivers, but this is still a very new team. How will they manage their two very competitive drivers, both on the medium compound tires? However, the train pig seems to have a bit of an advantage. Will ASM go as Train Pig has a little bit of a
Oh,
moment there, and that's exactly what I'm saying. ASM is now right onto the back of him. Will he be getting pit priority? I'm not sure. It'll be very interesting to see how they manage this dynamic.
yeah, and Martin, to fill up the words that you put, we have two experienced drivers fighting for the lead of the race. I remember Fernand from the start of season 3, I believe, and he was at the Ferrari team and he was always fighting for the race win. And now, as we can see, he's also doing the same thing as he's done previously, and we can see ASM taking the lead and Fernand catching up to the train peg. And to be honest, I've also never seen the train pig running as a driver in Romula One, never.
It's going to be very interesting here to see how he manages it. Some of the more experienced drivers, as we look towards the grid, Fernand, he's on those hard compound tires. Once again, he's down in P3. Well, I wouldn't really say down in P3, but he is in P3 to his standards. Oh, just moves to P2.
Oh,
So, like I said, to his standards, he'll be looking to
yeah.
make improvements. But of course, he still has to make that strategy work. As we look further down, Macho Globe, he's in P8, also on the hard tires. That's kind of where we were expecting to see most of the. Oh, as Fernand goes off the
Oh,
track.
Fernand! Oh, Fernand! Yeah,
Fernand.
it's Fernand. Yeah, let's take a look at Fernand, and he has dropped back many places. I
Oh, right
think
near Acer now,
Right.
man. Holy. Just got
And it's
overtaken by
close.
Clockhead.
Yeah, sorry, but Clogs is in the podium place, but Fernand isn't willing to give up as he is trying to overtake Clogs into the final sector. As he is very much behind Clogs. It's the vision lag. And we can see that is a four-way fight for third place. Fernand seems to be getting the position back that he has lost. And yeah, back to you,
Get this.
Aaron Yeager.
Okay, so as you see here, Fernand went a little wide. Got a few places back, but that crate car is really fast and he's worked his way back. Like I said, look at clocks. Also, W Supe, the one we was in 4-4, he's fell all the way back to 16. A lot of concern maybe now back in that team. It was such a great start, but it's came down now. Also, Chris is now came up to 4th, and he looks like he's gonna try and put up a fight here with Fernand.
Yeah. This is a four-way fight. No, that's a five-way fight for the podium. As
My
the two,
goodness.
yeah, ASM and the train peg are also fighting for the lead of the race, and it slowly but surely becomes a fight for the lead of the race. 7 drivers fighting for the lead of the race. I'm in loss of words basically, as there's many change of positions. Acer going a bit wide, almost touching the sausage curb, and yeah, crossing into the final sector of Ventosa, and ASM will cross the finish line to start up his 7th lap of the race, his 7th lap with a medium stint. And as I say that, Fernand takes 2nd place back. He has lost 3 places but gained them back in like the span of 2 laps, which is insane. The train peg losing some time, that is due to his experience, I believe, and ASM and Fernand being previous rivals, and now they're rivals again, but with the new teams, with the new regulations and all that. But the rivalry stays the same. But as I say that again, the train peg has taken up his second place again, and I'm gonna give the commentary back to Aaron Yeager or
Alright,
Martin
yeah.
Brando.
Alright, so as you see here, Ferdinand is really closing out the lead, but look at Chris! He had a very interesting preseason session here back over at Ventosa Park, and now he wants to get a little bit of the tasting of the fight. ASM is going to have to try and defend his way to keep the lead here. Excuse me. And as they come around the right-hand bend, and it looks like Ferdinand might be there.
And that is a three-way fight for the lead of the race. Once again, the rest of the drivers slowly but surely catch up to the leading pack as they are trying to get a good place for the Constructors' Championships and the Drivers' Championships, basically. And as I said, that, yeah, sorry.
It's a bit of a surprise, honestly, to see where Outguard and Fernand are. Of course, this golf team is very new, literally their first weekend here in Romula One, and yet they're leading 1-2, something that Fernand and Outguard, honestly, from Season 3 would be very familiar with. But Outguard doesn't seem to be providing so much support for his teammate. How will really the golf team be able to manage? Well, when you have two drivers in ahead like we see now, we see this a lot of times going on in IRL F1. The team will then be able to split the strategies of the two drivers. Of course, we see they've already made the wise choice, seemingly so far, to put both drivers on the mediums. Yet, Fernand and Outguard, despite being on the same team, have made the choice to go on the harder compound, both of them, which will cost them at the start of the race. Personally, from my experience in being a team owner, I would rather have split the two drivers. You know they have pace. See which strategy is better, because at least at the end of the day, you may gain the advantage. But when you put both drivers on the wrong decision like this, what can happen? Well, you have one driver doing his best in P4 and another driver struggling down in P10. Golf have made very good choices so far. They're both P1, P3, and very competitive so far looking in this race.
Yeah, Chris, but wait, is that someone going to the pits or was that me? No, it's not. Sorry, but Chris Boy with a power lap, with a power, how do I say power race at the moment that he's trying to do from fifth place. He has moved back up into first place, not back up, but he has moved up to first place. Pretty insane for the G-Force racing driver, as his teammate Wolf stands in 12th place. He is underperforming this race, and let's hope it's not going to be the same for every weekend.
Joke is
Wolf.
out. Joke is out.
Oh!
Oh!
Oh no! We have a car.
Another driver, Alpha Bricks. I don't know what is going on here.
Alpha Bricks is out. Wow.
Yeah, and there's a yellow flag. No surprise there.
Has an issue, I think it was. Let's switch
That-
back over to
That'll be
0.
yellows for Sector 1, so if any drivers are crossing Sector 1, they should slow down immediately, as there is loose debris on the track or even a car on the track, and they have to stay cautious into the first sector.
It looks like the marshals have done their job well. The track is fully cleared now. No drivers seem to even encounter it, except sadly for Alpha Bricks. So he'll be the only one
I
really
think
suffering
Super
from
Jope
that.
is out of the race now. He is.
Yeah, and I do think that some people might bail into the pit lane here, as it's only lap 9 of 31, and maybe time to get rid of the mediums and hop onto some of those hards to do a two-stopper for this race. But I'm not one of the strategists. They know better than I do, so...
I completely agree with Spingen there. I think it's around the time where some of these drivers are going to need to think about what they want to do for the strategy. As I say this, look at Chris. He is really closing the battle here. 3 cars coming in, and I think maybe the KR car, Dom, is going to keep it even closer. Chris goes wide.
Yeah. The train. Oh, I can't keep focus on the leaderboard as it's changing all the time. It's Chris Boy, then ASM, then the train peg, or even it's sometimes Fernand being first, since there is a huge fight ongoing with the top 6 fighting for the lead of the race. This is insane how how competitive Romula One is, and I think I'm gonna have to follow with Aaron Yeager. I think it's time for the drivers to pit. As I say that, there was a driver that went really outside, and Dom is somehow leading, but that is not always the case. Don't follow the leaderboard, just follow the cars that are racing. And I think I depicted 6 that are fighting for the race.
Yeah,
Well,
6.
this is immensely competitive racing right there. You won't find this in any other league. And yeah,
Alright, as you see here, I saw in the back that Klotzked is not out of this fight. He's not going to want to fight for the lead. But over at his team, as long as you have a good finish, that's all that matters. Now, if you look here, Chris is still keeping up a fight, but you're wondering for these medium compound people, when is it going to be time to come into the pits? The hard people can stay out probably for longer because they are on hards, and those are the longest lasting ones. Now, Dom here is really keeping it well, but his teammate Asa also in 5th. Great race so far for KR. They're working their way back up the field. Outgard is back to 11th. What a rough start for him today. I just don't know how that happens.
Looking at some of the team data here, I see Chris Boy and I see Wolf Landry, obviously 2 of these drivers, very competitive, very good drivers, and yet on very different sides of the field today. Chris in the leading pack, Wolf Landry 11 seconds off the leading driver. And as we look at some of their tire deg data, it looks like Chris Boy isn't really pushing his tires too much more. He seems to actually even be conserving them a little bit better than Wolf Landry has been up to this point in the race. So maybe the secret to pace in this track isn't to push your tires, but really it's to bring them in smoothly, take care of your tires. And so far, nobody's even broken 85 on the tire deg percentages. Everybody's seeming to take pretty good care of their tires. Maybe we'll see the drivers do very long stints, maybe even a one-stopper.
I like to point
Guys,
out
I'm
one
standing here in the pit lane right now, and
oh,
Zed Neo's just come into the pit lane for a front wing change, and to also pit for the
Oh,
medium
my
compound
goodness.
tires. He is the first one of the grid, from the entire grid, to come into the pit lane. And I feel like we're going to be seeing a couple more. Yeah, we've got W Stoop coming in as well as Toots. They've both come into the pit lane as well, and they have changed onto their respective tires. In fact, no, never mind. They have not come for the pit lane. They have had a drive-through penalty. I think that may be
Oh
a
my
result
goodness.
corner cut.
penalty.
I'm not sure, but something has happened. They've come through the pit lane, not changed their tires. So something has just happened. Something's happened to them.
Oh,
Back over to you
I'm
guys.
gonna say this. Look at. Let me find his name here. Oh yeah, Roddy. Look at him. He's in a PMP racing car. He is running in P8. That is a great race for him. Hopefully that team can keep it up as one of the golf cars and Chris are practically equal here. Yeah, that is great.
All right. Hold on.
And Wolf Landry's into the
Yep.
pits now.
All right. Can someone keep us informed about what's happening in the pits? I'll also keep an eye out for the pits.
Wolf Landry is
So-
ready for the
I can
hards.
see Wolf Landry in the pit lane. They have just come out and they have pitted for the hard compound tires. If they've not already been on the hards, then this is going to be a one-stop for the G-Force driver. We've got another one coming in as well. That is Late Glue. He stopped for the mediums. He's going to be doing a two-stopper today. As that's a very, very, very bold strategy from that driver there.
Yep. Thank you for us, Spigen, for the information about the drivers pitting. And let's focus on with the racing again, shall we? As Fernand now has been changed to 300 of a second. Don't always keep up with the leaderboard, as I said. Just keep up with the cars and where they are. But it's countered as well with vision lag. So it's really dependent on the leaderboard. So nobody has pitted still. It's not the top 6 that has pitted yet. So I think we should really keep an eye out for these guys.
I think it's very interesting as we look at more people's data. I'm looking at the top 3, Train Pig, ASM, and Fernan. Or, well, yeah, and Fernan, because Chris is kind of coming in and out of the top 3. But their lap times are very, very interesting. They're losing about 3 seconds a lap compared to the best laps that they were doing earlier in this stint. Now, having come out of the pits just recently, Wolf Landry, his best lap time previously was a 1:30, but he's still not fully up to pace on those tires. I'm not fully sure why, but maybe the hard tires really are not the choice to go for this weekend. It looks like a medium, maybe medium soft strategy would be the way to go if a one stopper is not entirely possible. But if a driver was able to make the one stopper possible onto medium hards, maybe it could be possible because you lose about 22 seconds in the pits. The question is, how quickly can you get up to pace once you switch onto those tires? In the case of Wolf Landry, not very quickly.
Yeah, thank you for the info about Wolf Landry. Anyways, Dom is leading with a very slight margin against Fernand, but it has changed and he is in P3. The fight still continues on. The top 5 aren't willing to pit just yet, but it's now a gamble if the medium drivers should pit earlier than the hard drivers. As we can see, the fighting drivers that have hards are Fernand and Dom, so they will stay out for quite longer than the rest of the drivers that are fighting for the lead of the race. And yeah, back to you guys.
As I would say here, yeah. If it was the best team so far today, it might be KRR. I was thinking at the start, Craig was going to have a great race. Both start on the front row, but as we've seen, Sun has been fighting for the lead, but Outguard, like I said, just hasn't shown up. There's been also another thing I've noticed. There's been a lot of upsets up here. Seeing, Clocks, his name, and a few other people, like Rat up here, who just, are having great races. Now, the thing is with the upsets, if they can have a good race, can they keep the strategy up? And that's what I'm saying. Strategy can be very important in these types of races. And we see how close they can keep and separate the field. Like, looking at the gap from 10th to 11th is 10 seconds. That just shows how much pit can affect this.
And the leaders are all into the pit.
Yeah.
ASM and Train Pig, they're double stacking.
Oh
the
my
train
goodness.
pick onto hard. Sorry, the train pick onto hards. ASM on hards and Chris Boy on hards as well. Fernand hasn't. Wait, has Fernand pitted?
Oh, they
Oscar
didn't
is
double
also
stack.
in.
They chose different pit boxes. Is that legal?
Oh my
Fernand has
goodness,
a job, but I can see
Fernand's staying.
I can see one of the Midnights coming in. I would believe that's one of the pink cars as Boatcrafter.
Yep,
He's gonna be
Boatcraft is in.
to his pit box, which is near the end of the pit lane. He's number 21. Let's see what he's gonna pop on. He's gonna pop on the hard compound tires and go to the end of the race.
It's going to be interesting to see what are the lap times looking like for the two drivers who just pit ASM and the train pick compared to Fernand who's staying out. They are going to have to give absolutely everything on this outlap to gain a position on Fernand.
So we have Fernand, Dom, Asa, Rat, and Mr. who landing out our top 5. Very interesting here. PMP is going to be very happy with this here. And with Mr. Macho Glow for his team also.
Yeah, but one question still remains for me. Has Ratty pitted yet? That is the main question. And also, Mr. M, have these two guys pitted yet? Because if they haven't, then it's pretty much a lost cause for these two drivers, as they will just drop back to their original positions, or even worse, a few positions less than their original starting positions.
Yeah, I think that they're doing this here. They might just want some extra experience of riding the front because you never know when it's gonna have one race day where everything's just gonna completely switch up on you, and you're gonna have an amazing race, and you're gonna need to know that. So I think this is just extra help for them in the future. But Rat was running like ninth, and Mantra was running like eighth or so. So they're probably gonna lose a couple spots or more, so we'll see. Mr. Cowpox is coming, he's pitted on the mediums.
And
we do not have
also,
anyone else.
sorry for interrupting you, but Bulk Crafter has also pitted onto hards. It's always hards and mediums for this race. Nobody's really trying to put on the softs to gain that extra point. And as I'm speaking about fastest laps, we can see that the train peg still holds his fastest lap since the beginning of the race with a 129.6. So even if he finishes 8th, then he's still gonna gain his extra point.
This is going to have to be the lap of his life for Fernand. He's coming to the concluding sections of the lap. I think he's almost towards the final corner. If he stays out, and he's pitting.
Oh, he's pitting!
Fernand's
Fernand's
pitting.
coming in. And it's gonna be a KO 1-2 at the moment. And they're still on their old hards. Fernand is coming in.
Yep, I can see Fernand coming in. I'm just chasing him up now. He's gonna stop at the second most second to the bottom.
It's for the
He's gonna pit
medium.
onto the medium compound tires. And I think he's gonna be doing a one stopper here, going to the very end of the race. Let's just wait and see how Fernand's tires are gonna cope. Back over to you guys.
Looking at the lead here. It's both of the KRR cars. They're just gonna make sure that they don't mess up with each other. As Rat runs in the podium places in the background, Asa and Dom are the ones back. Oh, I think Dom and wide.
That is Dom.
Way wide.
Yeah, Dom into the sausage curbs, and that will be extremely weird for the after race briefing that their team will hold. But still, he hasn't lost any positions as of yet. But Ratti, 10 seconds behind Dom. Will he be able to gain some time just so he can fight with the two KR drivers, which in my opinion had the best strategy out of all teams? As we can see, the two Craig drivers
Ace is coming in. Ace is coming into the pits.
Yeah, Dom is coming into the pits. Is now a double stack for the two KR drivers.
is also in as well.
So let's take a look on what the KR drivers are going to.
Ace is on the mediums.
And Dom with the mediums as well.
Alpha's going on the softs.
Everything taken into consideration, while all these pit stops are absolutely gripping, I think Gulf have pulled off an absolute masterclass with the strategy. Not only were they able to gain a load of position on the initial stint by putting on the medium tires, not only were they both having two cars in very high positions, they are currently maintaining the net race lead by undercutting Fernand, and in addition, they are completing their requirement to do two different tire compounds. And Fernand really is not making any gains on the advantage that they have. The two drivers have been able to tow each other towards the front. Train Pig and ASM, as they are giving each other DRS. They are pushing each other. And honestly, I think Fernand and Craig team have made a big mistake here with the strategy. Outguard not really being competitive and helping out his teammate, but the Gulf team have done an absolute masterclass, and I think they fully deserve the win that is coming their way.
I'm going to say something here. If you just want to see the difference on tire, look at Rat compared to the Gulf team. He's completely falling back, and he is not pitted yet this race. Maybe he's just trying to stay out really long hard. And as I say that, Rat comes in.
Rat.
Oh, let's let you mess up for a second. As I would say this, also the back Alpha Blocks has also went for the soft compounds. So instead of going with the hards and mediums like anybody else today, he's taking a gamble, even though he's in 19th and a lap behind.
Once again, the consistency from this golf team is absolutely clinical. They are lapping consistent 130s. Fernand, a consistent 129.9, but he's all on his own. So as he's pushing, so far, he's actually worn more into his medium compound tires than they have into their hard compound tires. Of course, that is nature of the tires, but given that he pitted a lap later, this is going to be absolutely devastating to the end of his race. Will Fernand really be able to come back from this? I'm not sure. It's going to take an absolute
Yeah,
masterclass of a drive.
yeah,
Never
I
know.
don't
Something
think so.
could happen. It's, as you see here, it's just the two golfs up front here running around Ventosa Park. Chris is in third, Fernand fourth, the KR is running fifth, sixth, Clarkset in seventh, Mr. Macho Maker having a great run in eighth, Alcard ninth, and Wolf rounds out the top 10.
Yeah,
Rat has felt
sorry to interrupt Aaron Yeager, but ASM is slowly catching up to the train pig. But the main question is that will ASM be able to catch on the train peg and potentially the two golf drivers fight out for the lead of the race into the remaining 10 laps of the race? As I say that Fernand overtakes Chris Boy for third place, and ASM gaining a few hundredths of a second from the train peg. Back to you, Aaron Yeager.
as you see here, Fernand has just overtaken Chris for third place. I'm gonna do a quick check over here. They're still battling as the two golfs up front. We'll focus on them more. Yeah, Rat has lost 3 spots from 9th and fell back to 12th, and Macho's only lost a spot. So that's some of the underdog news we have here. Train Pig and ASM keeping as close as they can to each other. One small mistake could cause it, as we saw earlier with Dom, as he is 5 seconds behind his KR teammate, separated by 1 spot.
Yeah, and also it's hold on. The train peg has re-overtaken ASM for the lead of the race, but will train peg try to keep his lead out of his teammate? But this will if they both crash out, then it will remind me of the two Mercedes drivers crashing out into the first lap of Spain in 2016. So let's hope it's not the same as we're seeing now.
Not too sure that it's going to be possible for them to crash each other out in a Roblox non-collide race, but
Yeah.
anything is possible. I'd be very surprised. But it would be a huge discredit to the absolute masterclass put on by the Gulf engineers. This is very impressive because it's their first time in this league, and they've done it absolutely perfectly. Of course, their qualifying wasn't as good, but they still were able to turn it around, and they've been showing great consistently. 2 and 3 on the fastest time board, just overtaken by Acer, who's not really in this race as far as the win is concerned, but they've done an absolutely amazing driver, as was Soup now pits for the softs.
Train went a little wide there. I'm also gonna say this. I think it's unlikely here. But, did PMP score points in the last race? Also, we have a couple people in, but Supe and Toots have pitted for the softs.
Can I say something about the strategy option those teams have selected? I don't think the softs are necessary for the race, as as this track is very hard on the tires, and I think softs will ruin the strategy even more. So W Soup and Toots, I think they've made a pretty bad decision.
I think they're just running in the back, and the strategy is because they're running in the back of the field, you know. And then with Alpha Box and whoever else I think did it, I think someone else did it. I don't remember. I think they just want to like maybe get a few more spots they can. But if you look at the difference, that's not gonna work. And I completely agree with you. These types of tires, the softs, just don't work out. Well, let's head back to the lead here. AS7 and Train Pig are really battling it out. The two Gulf teammates Oh, the train goes a little wide. And he keeps it ahead of ASM. Once again, he's really using up all the space he has over here. Late Glue is also pitted for the softs. Another of Wasupe's teammate is going to try and go for the same thing. I'm pretty sure that is.
But you
as
know
we get
what?
that,
Fernand is coming back, and he is coming back with a vengeance. At the time of his pit stop, when he exited the pits, he was 5 seconds off. Now, the gap is down to 3.9 seconds, and he's bringing some ammunition with him. Acer, 3.9 seconds. Chris, 3.8 seconds. These guys have been putting in some absolutely outstanding lap times. Consistent, very fast. The three drivers are pushing to gain back the lead that they have lost to the two Gulf drivers. If they can bring themselves back in contention for the lead of this race, they have 7 laps left to not only catch those drivers, but to also pull away to maintain their lead. And who better to do that than the man on the softest compound of tires, Fernand.
as you can see in the background, Asa and Fernand are battling it out for third, but they don't want to be battling out. They want to be focusing on catching up here. We've got about, I'm pretty sure, 7, 8 laps to go here, and the Gulfs are just battling each other for 1, 2 here. Now, Chris is also going to come in for the battle at third. I don't know. I'm going to take a quick glimpse there, but this is a very important battle here for these Gulfs. As we said earlier, this has been a great race for them. They have done everything right that they have needed to, and they have done it perfectly. If they can keep up this rhythm for the next rest of the year, we might have a good championship contender possibly.
Yeah, about that. The question is now, will ASM let Train Pig get the point that they need to maintain their lead in the constructors championship?
Look at Asa.
Onto the back of
Right
them now.
down that straight.
2.7 seconds back.
Also, I know this is off topic here, but Rat has just overtaken Wolf for 10, and now that could be great for PMP. But back to the battle here. They are side by side in practically almost every corner. Well, and look at the background. Asa, Funa, Chris, all battling it out. They might be separate teams. It doesn't matter. Just catch up to the leaders, and we have a great battle. This could be a race to the line, possibly, if so.
And I definitely think so. In the time that they've been making up this gap, I think Fernand, I don't know if he still has the pace in him. Looking at his tire percentages, he's cooked them a little bit. And Chris also, he's not totally on the pace like he was earlier. But Acer, I counted him out. I saw that he had the fastest lap, but I just wasn't really sure if he could reel them in. But he has, and he's done a great job doing it. I'm not sure exactly how fresh his tires are at this current moment in time, but will tell you is that he has the determination and the pace to do it. Just last lap, a 134. The leaders, 131s that they're doing now. I think Acer has a very good shot of winning this race.
I'm going to bring this up here. Wolf Landry has also pitted for the Softies back into P14. And look at this battle. Train Pig is only 75 hundredths behind. And now he's a half a second exactly ahead. And coming to the line back, it's even for Asa and Fernand. Are they going to get there in time? I mean,
I
if
see
they get
Fernand, Acer, they are exactly 2.3 seconds back. Chris, 2.9 seconds back. The gap back from P6 down. All those drivers will be battling out for very valuable points, but the most valuable, that big 25 that everybody's going for. Now, no matter what happens here, Gulf is still going to take the most points away, and that comes from the masterclass. That is what they deserve. The engineers have done an absolutely amazing job. But will these two drivers allow themselves to be caught by the other drivers? We know that they were towing each other, helping each other to gain away, create that big gap when they were doing that undercut. But now it seems their tires, the hard compound tires, they're not as they don't have as big of an advantage this late in the race.
Oh!
And yet, somebody slid.
Dude,
Somebody was
Toots
totally
got
up in the
around.
background.
Oh my goodness, that's a big hit, I think it was, for Toots, and he looks out of the race. My,
And
oh
they're fully here
my.
now. I believe that Fernand and Acer, I think by the end of next lap at least, if not even this lap, they will be in the DRS of the leading two drivers.
Yeah.
And they are.
Gap is less than 2 seconds for Fernand, but he's got about 5 laps to figure his way around. You can see Asa also trying to get in it. This is going to be a race to the line. Train Pig seems to be practically clear of ASM, but that does not mean anything when you're battling with your teammate.
So we have the final showdown. The stage is set. 4 laps left to go, and this is going to be an absolutely close finish. Will it be the Train Pig, the new driver, the new guy on the block, solidifying himself as a certified Romula race winner? Will it be ASM with a history of very good and surprising drives? Will it be the veteran race winner, Fernand? Will it be Acer, who has such a great experience in row racing? Or will it be Chris, who currently looks to be the furthest off the pace? Any 4 of these drivers have, or any of these 5 drivers have fully deserved it so far. Whoever wins will be definitely considered the most deserving driver to win this race here at Ventosa.
Top 4 is separated by less than 2 seconds. Train Pig is practically 2/3 ahead of ASM here, so he might be trying to get clear of his teammate. But look at Fernand. The gap is almost less than a second. He has been gaining a lot. Maybe the tires are wearing out for this golf team. And you can see here comes Fernand. He's looking for that second place spot. It's almost less than a second to the lead with 4 to go. Into turn 1. Coming around the left-hander now. And here comes Fernand. He's there. Maybe not quite. As the rest of the field tries to catch Chris. Exactly 2 seconds behind the lead. Fernand looking to make a move. ASM trying to get ahead of his teammate. They're almost side by side here. This is a heck of a race to the line with 4 to go. And it's now 0.8 on the timetable for Fernand. Acer and Chris are also closing. Look at the difference from 5th to 6th. About 7 seconds for from Chris to Dom. That just shows how far this field is from everybody else. And the gap in the lead is 2.5 tenths.
Yeah.
I know
we
the
get
golf engineers are absolutely sweating their heads off. They've done an absolute masterclass here today. And yet, the drivers, they've also done their part. But it just seems that the tires are not holding on so far. Fernand, who debatably had the worst strategy, doing his absolute best to bring that absolute dog of a strategy and maybe of a car to the front of the field. It's the final 2 laps now. It is absolutely close. 1.1 seconds separate the top 4. It is anyone's game. There is DRS all the way down to P5 in Chris. Who can win the race? It will be an absolute showdown in the final 2 laps here.
Yeah,
Fernand going.
Yeah.
Sorry, Fernand going for the lead. Can he get it ahead of Train Pig? The amount of speed compared to Train Pig for Fernand is a same amount. ASM's gonna try and get on it. Acer, it's 2 tenths that separate 1 to 4. And 1 second exactly to separate 1 to 5. This is mental. Acer goes way wide. Now he's the one trying to close on Fernand. ASM and Fernand separated by 17,000. Man, I'm struggling there. Now, can any of the golf drivers close in through the right-hander? And now, the 4 up there, try to get it. Asa's gonna close in. It's listed as Train Pig in the lead, but Fernand and Asa have the medium compound tires. Are they going to be the one that's gonna come home with the victory here in Ventosa Park? There's another right-hander, and on to the straight. Here they come by. And it looks as to be they are side by side for the lead. What a race this has been. 2 to
Yeah.
go. And
Yeah.
Ferdinand into turn 1. It looks like it's going to be Golf keeping it out in front for the moment. Or maybe Ace is also trying to keep it in. What a race this has been. And it's all bundled up together. It's less than 9/10 for 1 to 5. As now, 3 cars are less than a tenth. Anybody here can win this race.
Yeah, can I say something? As we can see now, it's the final 2 laps of the race, and the golf racing team engineers are having a panic attack at their room, basically, and at their pit boxes, and they are literally unfocused, and they are concentrating to see who's going to win the race. And golf racing, I have to give them props, but they should get the 1-2 in. But it looks impossible as their tire wear is depleting very fast.
And
And
they're
now
rounding the final corner now.
start,
This is
yeah,
what they've all led up to. Their engineers have set up 3 practice sessions, 3 very well managed programs. And now that's all they have to do. That's all these drivers have to do is complete the mission. They've been working for the past 2 days on this circuit exactly, memorizing every single corner. The Train Pig, ASM, Chris Boy, Fernan, Acer, they've all been pushing towards this, and here they are on the final stage, perfectly set up for it. It looks like Fernan holds the advantage of about 5/100th of a second.
oh,
ASM wrecked! Oh my goodness! Oh, he's back going, I think it was. He went way wide. Holy cow, someone in the background pitted for Softy on the final lap. Oh, another car went wide! I think. Maybe it was somebody else in the background. I could not tell. It might have been Funan, but he's still in it.
yeah, I don't
Ace
think,
lead.
sorry to interrupt you, but I don't think golf racing will get the 1-2 in as Fernan rounds up the final corners in Sector 3, and I think it will be Fernan winning the race into the,
To the final corner. Who's gonna
yeah,
get it?
I think it's going to be Fernan 2
It'll be
tenths up
close.
into
It'll be
the
close.
final corner. Yep, into
Oh,
the
from the
final
pit lane,
left
it's gonna
hander,
be close.
and that
Coming
will
into the
be,
corner. Who's gonna get it? It's a race to the line.
and that
It's
will be
Fernan
Fernan.
gets it.
It's
Fernan
Fernan.
takes it.
Fernan
that
wins it
wins
and then
the
throws
race.
a park. What a race. Ace a second. The Train Pig gives Golf a podium at least. Chris somehow gets in a fourth. ASM has fell back to fifth. What happened? Oh my
Uh,
goodness. Dome 6 that went going wide really cost him. Foxhead gets a great finish in 7th. Outgaw with a not so great race in 8th. Mr. Macho Maker, nice finish in 9th. And at the line, did PMP Racing's Rat get it? I think Wolf might have had him. And it's saying he did. Wolf gets 10th. And that's heartbreaking for Rat and PMP Racing. They would have really loved that 10th place. What a race. What a finish at the line. Man, we had some drama, all right.
yeah,
What a race finish by these
What?
drivers.
what a race, true. But I'm very devastated about golf racing. It could have had their 1-2 6 laps before they were fighting for first place, like the two drivers fighting for first place. All the other drivers were way behind, but now the 1-2 has been destroyed by golf racing. But what a finish! What a race!
And Fernan really solidifying himself as one of the keystone drivers of Romula One. He did it last season with multiple race wins, and he's done it once again here. He's such a consistent driver. You really just can never count him out. Even in the darkest of times, when you think, wow, Fernand, there's no way he can win this race. There he is, crossing the line first once again, and he's done it here. Despite not maybe having the best strategy, he's made it work, and he's won once again in Ventosa.
Yep, the big man Fernand winning in his home race, I believe. I think it's his home race. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure that it's his home race for Fernand. Yeah, I think that's his home race. As your top three for Ventosa is Fernand, Acer, and the Train Pig.
All right, and I believe we will be having some interviews here. I am fully ready. I think that that was one of the best races that I've seen anyway in Romula
Yeah.
up to this point. Very
Yeah,
nice.
me too.
Great drivers.
I might interview. I would be fine to like
Alright,
interview some people. Yeah.
Martin, if you can. No, yeah, you're leading the interviews. So let's welcome the top three drivers for Ventosa Park. Here we see that Fernand joined, Iber1 joined. We're waiting on the Train Pig.
Right. Once again, a great drive. A little
Yeah.
bit of a disappointing drive though from Outguard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very much.
Oh, Acer joined and Dom H joined. And we're waiting on the Train Pig if he's here. Should we invite the drivers that joined now onto the stage?
Yeah, sure.
Alright, let's invite the big man Fernand and the second place finisher Acer.
Oh,
Hello,
Fernand.
Fernand.
What a drive. What a drive. What was going through your mind when you came out doing that overcut and you were 5 seconds back?
I mean, I knew I was on fresher tires, and I think we did our medium stint was one lap less than theirs, I believe, so or two. So I was pretty confident that we could catch up, and then a few DRS here and there, and then yeah, we caught up with the compound difference, I guess.
That's very nice. Of course, you put the car on pole position, and yet from very early on in the race, it was very clear that maybe you didn't have the fastest strategy out there. Both of the Golf cars being in 1 and 2 for a large majority of that initial stint, and then of course for the most of your later stint doing that 1-2. So at that point, did you know that you had more pace in the back, or was it a thing of we'll just really have to rely on the mediums in the next stint?
I think it was just about the compounds, not exactly rely on the mediums, but it was just a compound difference. And I think I had a pretty good hard stint, which allowed me to stay within the slipstream and DRS.
For sure. Definitely. And just to ask about your teammate, of course, Outguard, P2 alongside you on the grid, and yet at the end of the race, not even in the top 5. Do you think it was a difference in how he was able to handle the strategy, or were you simply the better driver today?
That's a great question. I asked my engineer, I even asked Iber, and nobody has a clue. He said he was lagging, but I mean, the engine sounds were updated, so not sure what could have been. So I don't know.
Very interesting. Congratulations on your win and an absolutely amazing drive today, Ventosa. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Acer, very, very great drive from you today. I had counted you out. I didn't think it was possible for you to go from where you were. I think you were at about P6. Not really seeing you much in the first stint, but your second stint was absolutely clinical to take P2. What was really going through your mind? How were you able to do it?
Yeah, I mean, well, first off, I qualified P4, which, I mean, personally, I think it would have been a pole if I didn't bottle it, but we move on. But yeah, my second stint was felt good. Like I was kind of just in the zone during the second stint. So all in all, pretty good race for me, I guess.
That's great. And of course, your teammate, Dom H, qualified just behind you there in P6. In the race, he finished P6. Was there a split in how you guys managed the strategy, or would you say that you're definitely the more dominant driver in the driver pairing?
Nah, we were definitely like our strategy was more or less like identical. We put it on the same lap. So I don't think there's any like, I'm the better driver or he's the better driver. We just do what needs to be done, and yeah, it paid off today for me at least. And
Very nice.
H, pretty good result as well.
Very nice. And it's great to see you guys both collecting very good points there in P2 and P6. Very great result for your team. Thank you. All right. And do we have the train pig or he's here? All right.
Dom's
Great
requesting
job
to be
by
interviewed.
who?
Dom.
Sure. Yeah, bring him up.
Alright, I want to do the, I want to
Yeah, go
ask
for it.
some, I want to ask the questions as well.
Hello.
Hello, Dom. So, great job today for P6. You got some solid points for KR. But I would like to ask you, though, what happened on that one lap where you went wide?
Oh, just a lapse of concentration because I saw an Acer going past me, so I got a bit of dirt here in the high speed corner, and it was just a lapse of just lapse of I can't say the word now. Concentration. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
It's been a long race, man. Let me by.
How do you
Yeah.
think this sorry. How do you think this will help you guys for the next upcoming races here in Romula One?
I mean, it'll be good. Yeah. There's a reason why Kaikara brought in Acer because we know he's a really solid driver and he's really consistent. He nearly got pole. It's just he went wide in the last lap and he nearly got a win. But yeah, that's why we brought him in. It's what he's capable of, and if it wasn't for my mistake, I could have been up there as well, and it would have been an amazing result for us.
Great to hear from Dom himself. Back over to you, Martin.
Yes, great result from these drivers. Just a very great overall race. We had a lot of battles, of course, for the lead, namely, and then even in the back of the grid, Wolf Landry surprisingly taking the fastest lap down in P10. So, of course, he will get that extra point. Very great job. Great result by the team. Great result overall. I think. Do we have any of the Gulf engineers requesting to speak or just in the.
No,
channel?
nobody's requesting. I feel very
Oh.
bad for PMP, man. Rat had such a great race. Wolf made such a smart move there, even though the sauce had not been great. He decided last second to pit for the sauce. Not only did he get the fastest lap, he beat him by 4/10 to the line and steals that 10th spot away.
Yeah. That's the tough reality of racing sometimes, but an
Yeah.
absolutely great performance from these
How
drivers.
about Mr. Macho? Like I said, finishes P9 for Apollo. I would love to get to interview him, but unfortunately, I don't think he's here.
I don't believe he's here either. Once again, let's just review that goal strategy. They started their drivers P3, P5. From that position, you might think the two more dominant drivers for the Crave teams, they're in first and second, got pole on their own drivers by about 2/10. So you're thinking, what can you really do from this position? What they do, they go a completely opposite direction from Craig. They put their drivers on the softer compound tires to start the race, and they absolutely kill it in that first stint. Once they went on to the second stint, their drivers had that 5 second gap and a 1-2, very close. And then they were able to maintain that until just about the end. Sadly, ASM had a flip of the car, and the train pig just wasn't able to maintain his lead. But of course, the drivers still did an amazing job, and it'll be interesting to see what they do in the next race in Switzerland. Once again, great job from everybody. And the podium ceremony will be starting soon. All right. Not sure if we have all our drivers with us. Oh, I think we have. Yeah, we have some of them. So
Yeah,
that'd be
Fernand
great
and
to see.
Acer. I think, yeah, Train Pig left.
Yeah, probably a very disappointing race finish for them. They did a great job though. Definitely well managed. Just, I mean, overall a great job. Not just by the golf team, but really all the teams to allow their drivers to have that opportunity. We had a five-way battle for the race win. Absolutely peak entertainment. ASM was also really, that was a race to the line to beat Dom H across the line. Only 8 tenths, or actually 7 tenths between them, that allowed ASM to keep that position. Very close. Of course, he had that unfortunate flip in the final lap. Otherwise, he may have even been in contention for the race win had that not happened. I hope we caught that on the stream as well. If you can get like a replay of it or something. Absolute peak row racing at its best. And it looks like the podium is set up. All right. That is insane. So we will now be awaiting our 3 drivers onto the podium. Absolute great race. But at the end of the day, there has to be winners and there has to be losers. The Train Pig came home in P3 for golf racing, representing the nation of Great Britain. He did an amazing job. Sadly, he is not with us currently. Next up, we have in P2, keeping KR3 racing, Acer from the nation of I have absolutely no idea, but he did an absolutely amazing job. A great race. Sadly, I don't know what the country is called. I'll definitely do my research later, but he did an absolutely great job. He definitely will make his country very proud of him. South Sudan, yes. Ooh. South Sudan, he did an absolutely great job. South Sudan will be very proud of their driver, as well as KR Racing for their driver. And our winner from the nation of Costa Rica, with back-to-back wins, proving himself a very solidified driver, not just in row racing, but in Romula One, it is Fernand to lead the Crake team to a P1 finish, bringing back the Big 25 to his team. An absolutely great job by him. And a great job by all our drivers, from P1 all the way down to P10 and below. The drivers all did an absolutely amazing job. So we want to say thank you to everyone for showing up today. Everyone did absolutely amazing. But at the end of the day, it can only be one by one. And he's done it twice in a row. Everybody congratulate your race winner, Fernand, for winning the Romula Ventosa Grand Prix. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you so much for joining us here for the Romula One Grand Prix. It was an absolutely enthralling race. And we want to say a big shout out and thanks to Dedev Casta for, of course, bringing us this wonderful league that we're able to have. Shout out also to our commentary crew, Aaron Yeager, Pit Lane Pundit, Spingen, as well as the Sigma Force for streaming this for us. I believe we had some other people in there, but I cannot currently find their names. I've been Martin Brundle. It's been an absolute pleasure to commentate with you. I'll hopefully be back for next weekend. Thanks again for joining us. Make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time on Romula One.